Seriously, who drinks a cup of Joe in the late part of the afternoon besides me? Listen, I want to talk about some stuff, and I'll be back in a minute. Hey, I'm Jan. Welcome to the Save Money and More channel with Jan. Let me say that again. Hi, I'm Jan. Welcome to the Save Money and More with Jan channel. I definitely could use the cup of Joe that I'm drinking now. Decided to pop on, decided to have a little bit of a hot cup of Joe at this hour. So I'm really recording this in real time in my life at 4:08 p.m., which is kind of on the late side of the afternoon to have a cup of Joe. I've had a cup of Joe at this time, a couple hours before dinner. Just wondering who out there does that. I remember when I worked full time at another organization. This is years and years ago. It was amazing. I talk about it in an upcoming video in a few days. But for example, the place would take a break at 3 o'clock for a cup of coffee, which was kind of fun because sometimes people took lunch between 1 and 2. Then by the time they got back from lunch, they settled into their cubicle or whatever they were doing. And then before you know it, they would take another break at 3. So I don't know. It's like a weird habit. But know something, I want to mention something too, and I'm really sorry that I didn't take a picture of this last night. So last night I had a hankering. Ever want to have like some beef, but you don't feel like taking anything down from the freezer or whatever, or like cooking it from scratch? So I said, wait a minute, you just go to your pantry stockpile. And I'm telling you, if in case you've never bought it before, you may consider trying this. You know that canned roast beef? Who out there uses that canned roast beef? Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you something. I've had it before about a year ago, and it just slipped my mind. It just slipped my mind. But it's really, really, really good, and especially purposeful for those nights. And I said to myself, there are probably a gazillion things that can be done with this canned roast beef. So what I did, I just took the simplest of methods, and I had already had some leftover brown rice available. So I had the brown rice available. All I did literally was like throw it together and heat it up, honestly. What it could have done was maybe thicken up the gravy that's in the actual can that it comes in. Maybe use a little bit of cornstarch and, thicken the whole thing up and put that with it. And it would have been literally like a beef and rice, and you could get little broccoli florets. And I'm thinking to myself, the truth be told, that really there is an unlimited amount of things one can do with that canned roast beef. So I got my beef craving out of my system. I didn't have to do really cooking at all in any way. All I did was combine leftover rice. And by the way, please never throw away, like if you had rice during the week. Well, first of all, we don't like throwing away food. That's number one. Always, always, always use it up, and use it up within the parameters of within. To me, I call it the 3 to 5 day, period of time. So I had some of that brown rice that was cooked, left over in a container, and it came in handy. I was like, wait a minute, this meal is absolutely delicious. Of course, you could take that same method with canned chicken. And of course, you could take that method with other canned items like canned fish, too. I'm just saying. So if there are those nights where you're tempted to make a call, although I'm never tempted to make that call for takeout, maybe because I am so stingy. I'm telling you, and this cup of Joe is really, really doing the trick. I just had a few sips before I slammed on the record button. And I said, boy, oh boy. I said, let me check in with you guys. And by the way, making really, really, really great progress with that project, with Steve. Oh, I cannot wait for him to hit that $100 threshold. We are dangerously close. I'm waiting for the official update that Steve will relay to me from his information there, and then he could relay it to me, and then I relay it to everyone later on. So look for that in the community tab. We are dangerously close to, all of us that are rooting for him to get there. So let's see what has transpired in the last 24 hours. This should be really, fun and amazing. So Anyway, getting back to that beef, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I did it with the rice. I'm sure that can be done probably quite deliciously with some potatoes and carrots and make a little brown gravy to go with that and put it all together and maybe throw it over some cooked egg noodles. Hello. So if you think about it, like some people feel that those canned roast beefs are kind of on the expensive side. I got it at a good price. So to me, $3 for a can of beef is pretty good. Think about that for a minute. $3 for a can of cooked beef. It's long term, it's convenient, it's delicious. It really hit all the notes. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever tried it. Let me know that in the comments section below. How do you feel about canned chicken, honestly? So, I would say that the jury is out on that. Some people feel they don't like the texture. Some people don't like the taste. Some people really, really love it. I think it makes a decent chicken salad. I don't know. I would probably try to maybe consider it in chicken croquettes one day. I have to get a little bit creative. A lot of people have difficulties with the sodium. If that's the case, definitely rinse it out. That's one of those items that anytime you have concerns, even if it says, doesn't say low sodium or anything like that, if you normally buy low sodium and all of a sudden you realize by accident you didn't, don't like waste it. Do whatever you can to get the sodium out with a quick rinse. That should help it considerably. It should help it considerably. By the way, there's a product before I forget. Wait a minute, let me get another sippy here. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nothing like a late afternoon cup of Joe in the middle of the week. Just saying, just saying. So let me see. Where was I going with that? You know what? I definitely need maybe 10 cups of Joe because I'm not making sense with that last. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. More recipe ideas. Let's talk about this. There are so many other things that we could do with that canned chicken. And the low sodium. Oh, I remember now what I was going to say. There's a product. It's been around a number of years. I don't get a dim dime for saying it, from that company or anything. But I really, really, if you're watching your P's and Q's when it comes to sodium, Mrs. Dash is very, very flavorful. And you can use it, in your recipes. It's just really a great idea. Even if you're not watching your sodium, it just tastes really good. I like Mrs. Dash in canned tuna fish. Like, when you make a tuna fish salad out of that, that's really quite good. It adds a lot of flavor. And that's something you may totally consider. You see, here's the thing. When a person is on a food budget, a grocery budget, and they're watching their pennies, let me tell you something. Stock up when you can at best prices on things that enhance flavor. Sometimes just adding a pinch of this here and a pinch of this there. You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff in your spice rack. Take a good look, and it can make all the difference in the world. I'm telling you, it is so worth it. Well, I'm going to go on to finish my cup of Joe. It was really nice speaking with everybody today. I hope you didn't mind this extra bonus. And let's keep our eyes and ears out to see what happens in the not so distant future when it comes to the tally of the goals we want to hit. Do you have any goals set up for yourself? Let us know in the comment section below.